Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. And today, I'm here to give you the second part of the Season 8 Buffy series. Again, Buffy is my favorite character, probably more so than Supergirl. Certainly from a TV perspective. And it was Buffy Season 8 that got me back into collecting comics. I'm going to actually point out which book it was that I bought first. And of course, I ended up buying the whole series because I'm a raving completionist and part-time hoarder. So I'm going to describe the second half of the series now because I had done a video describing the first half, which I will link in the description below, so that if you enjoyed this video and would like to see or haven't seen yet the first part of the series, you can go and check it out nice and easy. So a good chunk of these books were written with Joss Whedon. So a lot of the characters and a lot of the jokes continue, and it has a lot of the same elements that made the TV show so good. And I liked that. I mean, whatever you might think about Joss Whedon now, you cannot deny that the guy knows how to write. And I know that a lot of people don't like how he is, and I don't condemn that behavior. I don't condone that behavior. But anyway, so without further babbling, let's get to the books. This is the most hilarious book of them all. This is number 21. And in 21, it is actually written by the TV writer Jane Epperson. Okay? And she basically in this issue, Harmony becomes a TV star. I don't know how they get her on camera though, because she's a vampire and supposedly cameras are like mirrors. But anyway, she's now a TV star. By the way, those are vampiric dogs. Issue 22. Vampires are now cool. Slayers have to take the fight underground. Kennedy and Satsu are sent to Japan and are taken by surprise by big-ass furry creatures who only want to destroy Buffy. That seems to be a theme. Twilight remains captain of the anti-Slayer ship. By the way, Twilight is the big bad, if you didn't see the first part. Okay? They don't know who Twilight is yet. Issue 23. Buffy and Andrew go to Italy on a mission. As Harmony's TV show has made vampires extremely cool, and with their Scottish base destroyed, operations have reached a standstill. Simone, was introduced in the first half of the series, Simone's rogue slayers are robbing and pillaging across the world. Andrew has... Oh my god. Andrew has found out to know Simone's plans, but involves the trip to Italy. Issue 24 is about Faith. They take a cut and they go to Faith and Giles. Faith is determined to be done with all the bloodshed, but she stays with the misguided slayers who have nowhere to go. Fast forward to later, and the bloodshed continues. Next up, we have issue 25. Dawn keeps evolving through the spell that she was hit with in the first half of the series. Buffy, always distracted, finally takes action after Dawn disappears mysteriously. Buffy is hopeful that this just isn't one of her ploys for attention. And it turns out it's not. Next up, we have Buffy 26. I like this cover because, for those that haven't seen the other video, Warren Mears is still alive, but he has no skin. Like he was still flayed. And he's on the cover here. So Team Buffy is now all sneaky as Slayers are hated and feared. They've made a new base in Scotland, but it's been attacked, and now they need to leave. Issue 27. Oz is on the cover here. Vampires continue to be the hottest trend on the planet. Twilight can now trace Buffy and the Slayers through their constant use of magic. Buffy gets her hands on a submarine somehow and goes to visit Oz. Although Oz is in Tibet, so I don't know how she got a submarine to Tibet. And Buffy loves... Sorry. Oh my God. And Buffy... feels that using magic is risky. I think that's what I wrote. Oops. Those longtime viewers of my channel know that I have doctor writing. So, and weakening eyes. So, number 28. Buffy and the Slayers are... Buffy and the Slayers let me start over. Buffy and the Slayers use labor and meditation to suppress their need for magic in order to keep hidden from Twilight. Andrew tries to find out because there's evidence that there's a spy among them. Now we get a good cover of Twilight for number 29. Having been discovered by Twilight, the Slayer organization prepares to fight with human weapons that are non-magical in order to protect themselves. Isn't that an awesome cover? We have number 30. The epic battle between the Slayers and Twilight forces. What? Okay, what happens and whether the Slayers win or not, I leave it up to you because this is a very interesting book. And I don't want to give away all the surprises completely. Here we have Buffy 31. Without their powers, the Slayers are losing and Buffy has to make a last stand all by herself. Number 32. Somehow, Buffy has suddenly developed a vast array of new powers. Willow goes looking for new allies for the cause and discovers a horrifying truth about several of their secret troubles. Flying Buffy. All she's missing is the S. Issue 33. Having suffered through a large number of casualties and having faced a ton of threats, Buffy finally confronts Twilight one-on-one. Number 34. Twilight is unmasked, and you might guess who it is based on the cover. It turns out it was Angel all along. Their meeting has some interesting details. Again, I'm not going to get into details because this is a book people should read, especially fans of Bangel. It's not terrible, Bangel. Better than Anuffy. Number 35. The Twilight story concludes as Buffy heads to the Twilight Plane with Angel and the Scoobies. The Scoobies prepare for another attack at the Twilight HQ. We have the whole gang together again, and I like the fact that Xander continues to have had a missing eye. Number 36. Having discovered the identity of Twilight, it is tearing the team apart because some are mad at Angel and some are not. So, of course, Spike has to return to make things more difficult because, that's what he does. This is the book that I bought that got me back into comic books. Buffy, Season 8, 37. This is where I went to the comic store after I found out there was a Buffy series. And imagine I don't want to say disappointment, but I saw, it's 37. Well, let's see, that's blah, 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 blah. I ended up buying this, 3 other books, and 5 back issues of Buffy that day. That turned into this. I thought I was done with comics back when I sold them in the 90s. Who knew, right? So Spike and Buffy reunite, and he tells her that he has discovered the source of their problems. Buffy needs to return to Sunnydale. Issue 38. Super Buffy, because she still has the powers, and Spike are fighting together in Sunnydale, while Angel fights half of a demon army. Because Buffy doesn't play by the rules, Angel has to cover for her failures as Twilight, and that's why he became Twilight. In Sunnydale, they're fighting lots of demons for their lives. They have one goal: to protect the seed. However, it turns out that there's a bit of a problem. Buffy faces her biggest emotional fear, having to fight Angel because Angel has turned on her again. It turns out that the Master has been orchestrating all this all along. While Angel is under his control, he kills Giles, and the seed gets destroyed. Buffy's scythe is also broken. You know, the magical scythe she had at the end of the TV series? Well, she's had it through most of this series, and it's broken now. Which leads us to the last book of the series, number 40. It is months later. Buffy is now a waitress in a coffee shop in San Francisco. That's key because the next season takes place in San Francisco. Willow feels that the world has lost its heart. Buffy is actually crashing at Dawn and Xander's place. Somehow they've become an item. Vampires are still cool, and Harmony is now on Dancing with the Stars. Giles' will is read, and it turns out he's left everything to Faith. Meanwhile, Simone is still causing trouble. And. For those that don't know who the Master is, the Master was the big bad at the end of season 1, the short season of 13 episodes that introduced Buffy. He was played by the guy who plays the Maestro on Seinfeld, and Niedermeyer in Animal House, and Mark Metcalf. That's it. I had to think for a second on the show, and he's brilliant there. He's the guy from the Twisted Sister video that yells, "What do you want to do with your life?" And there's his career in a nutshell. So it has nothing to do with the comic books. I'm just remembering the character because anytime I think about Buffy, I just smile. I love the show so much, and I hope there are a lot of Buffy fans out there that and comic book fans. We can't lose sight of the comic books. This was a lot of fun ride. I actually, except for issue 37, which I read the day I bought it, I actually decided that I wasn't going to read any of these until I finished the series. Because you know who I am. Especially since I found out that the series was going to end with issue 40. So it took me about 2 months, and thanks to my current comic book shop guy, Rob, I went to his store for the first time. I got the last 7 issues I needed. And so I put the run together, and then I sat down and read it all in one shot, and it was glorious. I loved it. I love I love the return of so many characters that I like so much on the show. I always thought Amy the Witch was awesome. It kind of bothered me that she ended up with Skinless Warren. Harmony has always been funny. If you think she was annoying on Buffy, you should watch Angel. The last 2 seasons has her being absolutely weird and hilarious. She's there only for comedy relief, and she's great at it. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe down there. I'd like to hear what your thoughts on Buffy is, if you've read Buffy comics, and if not, would you give them a try? Because honestly, Buffy, this series what got me back into comic books. And if reading this series gets another person into comic books, I think that would be awesome. Thank you for spending time with me today. My name is Matt, and I like comics. And I hope you do too. Thank you very much.